But some of, the larger courses, some of the larger courses do get split. So, there would be parallel sessions for some of the technology, for example, technology, translation technology 1, that was taught in 2 groups last semester. And with it becoming core, that's going to be, obviously that's going to be important. You can't teach translation technology to 50 or 60 students, not easily at the same time. So will preference be given to English or translation major students in the selection process? So another one-word answer there, no, it won't. I know that's 3 words, but no. Your people are welcome to apply whatever their background, and we do have people who are English major or translation major or interpreting major or whatever, and then we have people who have a background in software engineering or business studies or biology or economics.
Science, social science, etc.
Social science, yeah. So, and these are all valid backgrounds for someone who wants to move into translation. It's really not a problem, but you need to have obviously high standard of English, and also, I mean, the ability to write well and fluently and in a sophisticated manner in Chinese, because most of the translation is into Chinese. So I haven't. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Are all the interpreting courses taught in the interpreting lab if we can attend classes in person? Yes. I mean, if we go back to 100% in person, then yes. But it's mixed mode at the moment. And my understanding is that the interpreting teachers have been using the lab to some extent. That's the case, Paul, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, correct. At least for 2 course instructors, they are welcoming students to come back to the lab. But the students, I think at least half of the classes, they can attend the lab face-to-face classes. But another half of the students, they will have to take the Zoom class. Yeah.
I mean, talking of making a virtue of a necessity, but remote interpreting is a thing. It's a way of operating. A lot of interpreters do their work remotely. So if you have to do it by Zoom, that is now the real world, and that was the case even before the epidemic. But yes, I mean, hopefully there will be a chance to attend at least some of them in person. Now, the next question, if I haven't received the interview news recently, does it mean I have no chance? Oh, I see. So you haven't yet been invited to interview. Well, I mean, hopefully you'll be invited shortly.
Yeah.
And we have quite a number of applications to process at the moment.
Yeah, correct.
But we will get to you in due course. But if you've been waiting a bit, then do let us know, and we'll try and get you fitted in as soon as possible. But we do it in order of application, so you'll get there soon.
Yes,
you'll get there sooner or later.
I guess we will send you an invitation email to invite you to attend the interview very shortly. Yeah, because I'm sending out some by today, indeed. Yeah.
And then after the interview, we will let you know the decision within 1 week.
Okay.
And the interviews will continue to be held for the time being. And we will continue to, hold interviews for as long as there are people to interview. Assuming also until our quota is filled. But it's not, there's still quite a lot of space in the quota. Could all the students have the privilege and chance to practice interpreting in the interpreting lab or booth, both in class and after class? So it's largely a facility that is used for class teaching, and when pre-pandemic, the lab was used a lot for interpreting and for technology teaching. But when it was not used, it was possible to request and ask one of the admin staff to open it and you could gain access. But I'm not sure how much interpreting students would have done that.
They may need to have the booking in advance. Yeah.
Yes,
they will,
yes, that's right.
Yes, the administration staff will need to get notified in advance, and they can open the lab to you afterwards.
I mean that just means sending an email in advance and getting agreement. So are there still vacancies on the interpreting stream 2021-22? Yes, there are certainly a number of vacancies. Can we take online courses or offline courses? So I mean, my understanding is that a number of our mainland students this year have chosen to remain in the mainland, and then they're obviously having to take all their courses online. On the other hand, quite a number have now traveled to Hong Kong, and then they have the option attending in person or online. So the exam system for the interpreting stream, the transfer test. Paul, are you familiar with the details of how
you mean for the transfer test to interpreting stream, right?
Yeah.
Indeed, after you have accepted our offer and before the new academic year begins, we will ask students that for students who are interested to apply for stream transfer, they will need to notify us, and students who would wish to change to interpreting stream, they may need to attend a short interpreting test. They may have to complete the interpreting tasks, and we will assess your performance, and we will have a panel and assess your performance, and we will notify you in case if we think you are suitable to change to interpreting stream. Yeah.
I don't believe there are any specific requirements for interpreting stream applicants, and you don't have to have experience in interpreting, but we like you to have to show some aptitude for it. And this is one of the things that the interview is designed to test. We would look for high, very good spoken English skills for somebody who is going to be admitted to the interpreting stream. There is no age preference. I mean, it has to be said that most of our applicants tend to come straight to us from their first degree, or maybe they've been in work for a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, and then they decide to do an MA. But we have had more mature students on the course as well. And no, there's absolutely, we would welcome applications from people of any age, actually. There's no age limit or anything. Sure, go for it, So are there any limits on numbers for the face-to-face classes? Once again, I think no. There are certain regulations, guidelines for conducting courses online, so social distancing and wearing of masks, of course, and keeping rooms ventilated. So as long as the guidelines are being adhered to, I think that's the main thing that university is concerned about. And I think people would not be pressurized to attend in person normally, I don't think. I think it is possible that some tutors will say that their course has to be fully online. I think there are 1 or 2 like that, Paul, aren't there?
Yes, correct.
and indeed,
most of them,
master classes. Yeah.
Yes, correct. But most of them, they would welcome students to come back to the campus if they can.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, some of them. I mentioned one or two courses that are taught by people in the UK and the US.
Yes.
So obviously that they have.
They will have to. They will have to.
Yeah. They're online. So, any chance to change the first choice if I've already submitted the application? Paul, once again, can I call on you to answer that one, please?
Yes. In case if you have, I think you did not attend the interview up to this moment. So when you have received our interview invitation, you may just let me know which stream you would like to apply, and then it's okay then. Yeah, we will do the rest for you.
Yes, because we will do different interviews towards different stream students. If you apply for interpreting stream, then the test might be different from technology or practical stream. Yeah, so at least let us know before your interview. Yeah.
Thanks. So yes, I think everybody really prefers face-to-face. Pick up on your the last question. So you know, I think it's the desire of everybody, students and teachers, to go back to a situation where there's a much bigger component of face-to-face teaching.
And also, I noticed that Joe Danny, I think you asked a question about transfer examination from practical to interpreting, but you dropped out of the chat room and you joined again. I'm not sure if you you got our answers about that transfer examination. Just try to
Thanks,
confirm.
Max. Thanks for noticing, Max.
Yeah.
Do let us know if you didn't hear the answer to your question. That specific document is an internal document, actually. But the I think the new website, Paul, that contains information of course structure.
Yeah.
I think someone was asking about that Word document that I shared that showed the course structure. I'm afraid I can't share that particular one. But let me see the.
Do we have that on our graduate school website? I think they have all our available courses and introductions.
Because it's all being updated, and they've got theirs updated, and the academic registry, I think, is still updating theirs.
Yes, not yet, but we have a temporary one. I mean, yeah, that for listing the each course and which stream you need to take or attend which courses. Yeah, but this is a temporary one. And as Mark has mentioned that the academic registry, they will need to update their university handbook, student handbook for next academic year. And I guess maybe a few weeks later, then you will see the actual details. I mean, the short description on each courses. Yeah. But at this moment, not yet. We have some courses listed out, but the details are yet to be updated. Yeah. Yeah, we will have the schedule. You can see here. Yeah.
Right. Yes. So I can share the URL with you of the temporary web page that Paul has mentioned.
Yes, and I can also send an email to you. Yeah, with the temporary URL. I mean the temporary web page. Yeah.
So I'll do that now. And Jordani did actually miss the answer to that question. So sorry, 1 second, please.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there we are. It is shared. There you go. There's the URL.
Good. Yeah.
And
I will also add this URL to the interview invitation email that you
right.
may.
Yes, thank you. Yes, that's a good idea.
Yes, you can take a look before you attend our interview. Yeah.
So this is and thanks to Paul for preparing this.
Yeah.
It gives you the information of the course, the program structure in each case, and then there's a page on requirements, and that will give all the academic requirements there. And then finally, the study schedule. And that lists all the courses. First of all, the required courses, stream by stream, and then the elective courses. So although it's a slightly different format from what I shared with you, I think it will give you all the information that was there. And if we can, let's just go back to Danny's question. So if we're not able to offer you a place on your first choice stream, and your first choice was interpreting, and when you arrive, if you still want to have a chance to be included in the interpreting stream, you can request, or you can apply to take the transfer test, which will happen in the first 4 weeks of semester 1. And we don't guarantee success in that test.
Yeah.
In fact, this last September, 2 people were successful out of 6 who applied. Okay, so it's it's not a foregone conclusion that you will be accepted, but it does give you a second choice. A second chance. Do you have suggestions for the interpreting stream applicants to prepare for interview? Not really. I'm not quite sure what we can say here. I mean, there is. It's all. I mean, all our interviews are spoken, and almost always they are 100% in English. Just occasionally we conduct some, or we ask one question maybe in Putonghua. That's not usual. Normally it's all in English. The one thing I would say to interpreting students is please bring a pen. Have a pen with you and have some paper.
Yes, I've also specified in the invitation.
Okay,
email.
all right. Thanks very
starting
much.
from last interview. Yeah.
Thank you. And I suppose the other thing is, since it's all being done on Zoom or Skype, rather, I should say, usually Skype. And the network is normally fine and there's not normally a problem, but do please test out your equipment beforehand and make sure it's working. Try it with a friend, have a Zoom call or a Skype call, preferably with a friend, and make sure that you can see and hear your friend and they can see and hear you clearly, because that's obviously very important.
And it just came to me, and during the interview, if you want to have a better sound quality, you may prepare a earphone like this with a microphone, and instead of using the speaker on your laptop or on your phone, that will be much better.
Yes, microphone.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Thanks very much. Okay, so is Cantonese important to our major? So, I mean, obviously we have, I mean, most of our students are Putonghua native speakers, but there are some local students, and obviously chances are their native language will be Cantonese. And then also we have the question of accommodating people who use simplified Chinese and also
traditional Chinese. Yes, correct.
Traditional Chinese. So at MA level, the majority of our students are simplified Chinese users. So first and foremost, the materials and the exercises are geared to the use of simplified Chinese. But we do make, where possible, we make material available in traditional too, and it's generally well, certainly for the teaching I do, it's it's written communication, so it's the writing style that's important rather than speaking style. I don't know, Max or Paul, if you know the answer to this question, but certainly at undergraduate level, a lot of the interpreting is done trilingually, English, Putonghua, and Cantonese. Are either of you aware of the extent to which that happens at MA level as well, or is it mostly Putonghua?
I think so for taking the classes, it's totally fine if you don't speak Cantonese. But of course, we welcome students to learn Cantonese.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Especially as a language-oriented major, it's good to know another language, right? So we encourage you to communicate with our local students. See Hong Kong society, and we I think just a few weeks ago, some local students and Hong Kong local and some of our students from mainland China, they went out hiking, exchange some different lifestyles. I think that's good. Why not to have to learn a new language in a new environment, right? So and also I have another thing, because I noticed some students ask about worried about different majors, whether we accept them. Actually, like what Mark says before, we accept any student from any backgrounds. And also after you received or acceptance letter, we will also send out a reading list or some important books about translation. So to prepare you for this translation master degree in translation. So before you come to Hong Kong or before the semester starts, at least you can have some basic understanding of, if you are from another discipline, you can have some basic idea of this translation, what we do, and some important writings, important papers. Yes.
Thanks very much, Max. Thank you. And if I could also say, there is no requirement or expectation that you will learn Cantonese, and you certainly don't need it to study on the MA.
Yes.
And when I said that it might play a part in the interpreting classes, that is only for Hong Kongers who might be taking those courses as well. But you won't miss out by not knowing Cantonese.
Yes.
And I mean, it's good to have that extra language anyway, because a conference will often be interpreted on a multilingual basis anyway. So that will having three languages represented, that will make the whole thing more realistic. But yes, I mean, I know that our mainland students do show a lot of interest in learning Cantonese, and hopefully, that will be possible for those of you who are interested in doing so while you are in Hong Kong.
Hi, professors. May I have questions?
Please.
Because I heard that you mentioned we might have a lot of projects translating Chinese to English or English to Chinese. So those Chinese will be traditional Chinese or simplified Chinese.
Everybody uses the style that they are used to.
Or just it depends on personal styles.
That's
Yeah,
correct.
yes, yes, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Okay, thank you.
So I mean, when you're walking around in Hong Kong, everything is in traditional characters, of course, and the newspapers and everything published is in traditional characters, and in the university, all signs and information is in traditional characters. But I've not been aware that that's ever been a problem for people from the mainland who seem to have who seem to be able to read traditional characters.
I believe so.
Yeah, yeah.
My problem is that if I'm from mainland and then I want to learn more about traditional Chinese, so can I ask for help about this? I mean, I don't want to be just focus on simplified Chinese, which I already familiar with.
Sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. We have a language center, but I'm not sure if they cover that sort of thing.
Yes, they will cover, but the classes, the Cantonese classes are very familiar with students, non-local students, I mean. So you may need to act fast if there's classes available for you to book and choose, yeah.
I can speak Cantonese, but I'm writing in specific, simplified Chinese. So, but I don't know how to write written language that I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yes, about that. Actually, if you are using, I think if you are using traditional Chinese for the target audience is Greater China area. I think, I mean, for China mainland, Hong Kong, Taiwan, or even some East countries who also use traditional Chinese or simplified Chinese. I think if you are using a written Chinese, that's okay. Whoever's using traditional Chinese can understand you. I think that's fine. Of course, there are some differences in terms, right? But I think you will learn after you are adopting or doing your research or writing process. You will know what term to use. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. No question.
So there's another question about internships and exchange programs. So as I mentioned earlier, we don't currently offer formally, any internships, although that is something that we are minded to develop. And then about IELTS, does this have any bearing on being offered a scholarship and the IELTS score? Is that something you can address, Paul?
Not the most important indicator, yeah, because we will evaluate your, for example, your IELTS or TOEFL score, and as well as your interview performance, your academic background, and if after we have evaluated your these documents, I mean this score and your background, then we will have the final decision. Yeah, so this is useful, but not the most important one. Not the most important indicator. Yeah.
Yeah, sure, thanks. And then a question about the language center.
Two more. Yeah.
Yeah, language center. So yes, you do have access to it. I mean, they do courses for credit, but those can't be accommodated in the Matran program. So if you were to do a course, it would be not for credit. In other words, non-credit bearing.
And you may need to pay for the.
Need to pay. Yeah. Yes, exactly. You would need to pay for courses. And dormitory. Okay, so can we offer dormitory to everybody?
No, sorry. Yeah, but after you have received our offer letter, I mean the official acceptance letter, then you can access to our Office of Student Affairs. There is a housing section, and you can apply for our on-campus dormitory. Yeah.
But you need to act fast.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. We have a dormitory right next to our campus, NTT, very close.
Yes, that's, I think, probably the most convenient. Sure.
Yeah.
Sorry, concerning about that, so how many vacancies are there in the school dormitory?
Oh, it's difficult to say. Yeah, because every year varies. Yeah, they it will depending on the. I think they will allow the postgraduate students to submit their applications in. I forget. It's I think about in May or in June, and then they will process the application and they will let you know the result at that time. But I'm not pretty sure the actual amount. I mean the actual numbers that you how many students they will get admit in the NTT. Yeah.
So it varies from years to years.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry, what do you mean by what are con offers?
I think it's conditional.
Oh, sorry, conditional.
Offer.
Sorry, conditional.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Conditional offers.
So, well, if, for example, somebody has not yet submitted their IELTS or other English score, then you would be given an offer conditional on submitting that.
Yes, correct.
Or presumably, if someone hasn't finished their undergraduate program yet, then the offer will be conditional on successfully completing that as well.
Yes.
So all conditions such as those have to be met before you can receive a firm offer of a place. Payment time, any deposit, right? Okay, Paul, I think this is one for you if you don't mind.
Yeah. For the payment time, after you have received our official acceptance letter, then they will specify the time. Normally, it will be 2 weeks after you have received the letter. And any deposit, yes, it will be the first semester tuition fee plus some of the administration fee. For example, the I think the visa and the postgraduate association membership fee, something like that. But the major component will be the first semester tuition fee. Yeah. So this will be the deposit.
Great. Well, I mean, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for attending. Thanks for all those, really very sensible, important questions. And we hope that you've found what we've been saying and presenting to you of interest and of use. Super. Well, thanks very much, and thanks again to Max and Paul for facilitating this session, and thanks for all your input and help there. And that probably brings us to the end. And thank you for your attending. Thank you for your time. And I mean, maybe we've already seen one or two of you at interview, or hope to see a lot of you at interview, and indeed in September, in due course when the new year starts.